Hey everyone, today I'm going to be showing you how to get Pinyin phonetics working on ChatGPT. So I've been using ChatGPT to do a lot of Chinese language learning, and it's very helpful to get the Pinyin phonetics on top of all of the characters. And when I figured out how to do this, I thought it'd be very interesting to make a video on how to do this. It works on the messages that you send, and it works on the replies that you receive, and also the writing that you put in the box as well. And there are a few ways to do this, but I'm going to take you from the simplest to the most complex just to show you how this works. What I'm going to do is just reset this back to normal, and just want to show you that it is actually possible, of course, to get Pinyin phonetics working on ChatGPT. You can just ask it, please write Pinyin on the line beneath each sentence or clause. And the kind of issue that you're going to have is that the words don't necessarily match up to the Pinyin. So if you write like a really long sentence, and what happens is that you have a relatively short phrase, and then you kind of find it hard to match up which Pinyin matches up to which word. And this is not necessarily that efficient for language learning. On the very basic end, what you can do is you can do something like please add more horizontal spacing between characters so that the Pinyin can match up. So you write that in, and then what it spits out here is a little bit better. You can kind of see more clearly, but we are looking even more diagonally here. Fei and Changhao. So the words don't quite match up. So this is why what I prefer to do is to add a custom font. So there are these custom fonts that you can get. The most popular one I think is ToneOZ.com. I'll leave a link to this in the description. And you can download Pinyin fonts. So basically the Hanyu Pinyin will appear above each individual word, and it basically drops in and replaces all of the fonts within ChatGPT. But the problem is that ChatGPT doesn't support native fonts. And so what we're going to do is use a web browser in order to add the custom font. And unfortunately, this is not going to work on your phone. On your phone, you're going to need to use this method still. But we can use a browser extension called ChatGPT Font Changer, and then change the main font to a Chinese font with that Pinyin. So on Chrome, for example, just click on three dots, then go to Extensions, and then go to the Visit Chrome Web Store, and then make sure to do a search for ChatGPT Font Changer. So you can just install this, and then make sure to click on your extension and then click on the pin, and then it'll appear on your bar here. So when you have ChatGPT open, you can click on here and you can change the main font now. So I can change it to Book Antiqua, and then it will change the font, but we want to change the Chinese font in particular. So we're going to download the ToneOZ font. So there's actually a ton of different fonts that you can use that are compatible. For legibility, I do like this one called ToneOZ Pinyin Kai Traditional. That's because the Pinyin doesn't tend to overlap that much with the other words. There's also a couple more like Pinyin Su Peter TC, and then Wen Kai Regular. This one I think is my favorite, ToneOZ Pinyin Kai Traditional, because the Pinyin doesn't overlap and it's got a kind of handwritten style, which is more accurate for handwriting and calligraphy. So some of the computer fonts for Chinese are a bit more cryptic. They don't look like how they're written by hand. So I do like this one. So to get this to actually appear, we need to download the ToneOZ Pinyin Kai Traditional. So just go to the ToneOZ website, and then go to the top here, go to download ToneOZ fonts. And then we're just going to scroll down. So if you're learning Chinese like me, I do find it easier just to translate this into English. And then we're going to find Kai. So I'm just going to search for Kai. Then I'm just going to search for Kai space. Then I'm going to press Control F and do a search for Kai space traditional. So here we're just going to download this. And on Chrome, you can just open this file, and then you can just click the install button. And I've got this installed already. But as soon as this is installed, then we go back to ChatGPT, and then you can open this up and then change the main font. So you can change this into ToneOZ Pinyin Kai Traditional, and now all of our Chinese words have the Pinyin added on top of each of the words, which is going to be really easy to actually read properly. So one tip as well is just to zoom in a little bit to make the characters larger. And one thing is that if you do want to use a font which is different, so there's tons of different fonts that you can use. If, for example, we want to use this one, which is Pinyin W Kai Traditional, and we do have issues with overlapping and you want to add more spacing like manually, you can do this using something like an extension like Stylus. So this is available from the Chrome Web Store. So just go to the Chrome Web Store and then go to Stylus. And this is basically a CSS injector. So just add this to your Chrome, and then we open up Stylus, and then we can add a new CSS. And what I've added here is quite handy. It adds the max width, so that allows the full width of the screen here. And then also we can change things like the font sizes as well. So you can add the .markdown, .prose, .textbase, just add this code in. And then here what we can do is add another value. So we're gonna add letter spacing, 0.2 EM important, and save that. And then that's gonna apply to everything in ChatGPT. And now that is wider. Let's say we wanna make it 1.2 EM just to emphasize this. It's even wider. So unfortunately, we can't target anything more specific without making this video way more complex. But basically, this applies to every single letter, even the English letters too. So you might want to be sparing with this. This is kind of why I don't really like using this code. So I'm just going to comment out. And then what I prefer to do is just use a font which doesn't exceed the bounds. So the Pinyin is smaller, but it doesn't affect the layout so much. What I'm going to do is leave a link in the description for my paste bin for the CSS that I've used for Stylus to be added to this if you want to customize this a little bit more. So anyway, this is kind of a starting point of my Chinese learning journey. I'm perfectly aware that it's possible to make this even more complex and customizable using something like the Tamper Monkey extension to wrap the Chinese characters in a specific CSS class. But this is the basic, simple way of getting a Chinese Pinyin font working on ChatGPT. Anyway, I hope you found this video useful. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.